Hello, this video is for Math 2413, Calculus 1, May Mini 2020, COVID-19 version. My name is Professor Smalley, and let's get started. This video is going to help kind of guide you through the course. I think it's very important. A lot of people tell me it's very, very helpful, because just trying to read the syllabus alone doesn't necessarily show you where everything is in D2L. So let's get started. And so the first thing you have to do is get into your D2L. You'll have to use a couple ways you can do it. You can either do it through My Lone Star. Oh, okay, well, I was already logged in here, but like there. Or if you do D2L lonestar.edu, you can get in that way. You get in through secure login, and then there's this alternate login, which often can work. Let's say if D2L is having, if My Lone Star is having some sort of issue, depends on what it is or whatever. Sometimes it's possible to get into D2L separate of My Lone Star. So you would want to try this alternate login here at the bottom. It doesn't take you to, I like it because it takes you to the D2L page directly without having to go to My Lone Star. But doesn't matter. So let's see what this does. Hopefully this will work. So it took me right in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'll probably change back and forth, but I'll change this over to oh yeah, I have to actually pick the course before I can change to student view. And now I got to sift through all my courses. Obviously you won't be looking at all of this. Okay, so now I'm in the course, and we have an announcement right here I've already made that basically saying I'm working on this video. Of course, by the time you watch this video, you'll see another announcement that says the video is ready. And all I put here was just in case somebody logged in at 1 a.m. when the course opened, the syllabus would be there. You always want to pay attention to these assignments. The assignments aren't going to expire. The announcements aren't going to expire, so I'll leave them in there. So sometimes, if you need to, you can always scroll back and look for something to see if I made an announcement about it or not. All right, so here's where I come over and I can go to student view if I want to. And the main components of this course, as far as, you read your announcements, and we have content, which has your core stuff. Grades is just where your grades are going to be displayed. That's just a visual area for you, but the actual stuff that you want to bring up is content, and then course activities, quizzes. Now, quizzes is their definition. We have quizzes and exams in this course, but everything's in there in that folder. It's not a separate title in D2L for quiz versus exam. So you'll find your announcements. Over here on the bottom right is the D2L calendar that's got due dates. Very important. You got to pay attention to those to know when things are going to be due. I think I've got everything up in there with due dates. Everything ends at 11 p.m. That means as long as you open it by 11 p.m., you have the allotted time to complete it. All right. So first thing I'm going to do in content is bring up the syllabus, and we'll kind of run through that. I'll try to go a little quicker maybe on the syllabus than I normally do, just because you could read that and ask. Sometimes I talk too long. You can ask questions. So we have the main things. We've got a folder that contains syllabus and other stuff too. I've got some video links and things and something I'll talk about. Very important that's in there too. So you want to pay attention to this. I'm going to show you this, how to enter your quizzes in D2L, and then also how you can review your submissions. I'm going to say that in this video, but those files will be there for you to go refer to anytime you need to. So this folder is like a miscellaneous folder. The other stuff is notes, reviews, videos, more, the actual content of the course. This is just a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff here. Let's bring open that syllabus. Now you can download these, so you don't have to view them in this window. Everything can be downloaded to PDF. So you don't have to look at things through this window. So I'm going to show you that. Got to scroll down to the very bottom of it. Download. And we're going to open it up. And you can save and keep any of these files. I mean, can't imagine you want to keep the syllabus for future reference, but you might want the notes and things like that. Yours to keep. All right, come on, pop up syllabus. Here we go. Now it's coming. All right, everything's a little bit different. Since adjusting for this virus, things are going to be different. All right, here's all the title stuff here. Have an office phone, but I'll never be there. Building closed, course, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what are we going to learn? Well, let's not worry about that. Book. The official book for this course is this one. Now, I'm going to go back to this. After we're through the syllabus, I'm going to go back and show you another option. You don't have to purchase this book. If you have any calculus book, you can use it. Or I'm going to show you something very helpful here in a minute when I go back to D2L. So that's just the official book that the course is modeled off of. And I mentioned this, if you've used a book that was a My Math Lab, I could assign a code for you if you've used it. Only if you want to, use some of the stuff that was, if you want to use their textbook or whatever, I can just set up a blank course and give you a code. All right, I said, like, here's a blank. We used to use, the last book we used was a university calculus. But being Cal 1, you probably would not have had a previous book, so that makes sense. Well, all this calculator stuff, that would be true if we were taking proctored exams, but we're not taking proctored exams, so there's not much I can do to enforce that. So I guess I didn't take that out of there, or didn't edit that out of there. Notes and videos, I'll show you where that is here shortly. The Larson book, there's a website, www.calcchat.com, that has solutions for the odd exercises. Sort of like if you had a printed solutions manual or whatever. All right, let's hit some highlights here. Homework. I have a suggested practice list of problems. That won't be collected and graded. If you can, it's tough in a short period, but as you well know, with math, practice makes perfect, or at least makes you better. Might not make it perfect, but so you can do some of those if you want. You're not required to, but I know we're going to be moving fast. Now, here's something that is a requirement. We have what's called quizzes. They're actually more like homework assignments in the sense that you're given PDF files that already have the problems on them. So your job is to work them out and then submit your answers in D2L by a certain deadline. So they're not quizzes in the sense where you take them in real time like the exams will be. So, I mentioned you have the PDF file. I'll show you where those are. I mentioned here, sometimes you got to be careful. The numbers won't change when you go to submit your answers, but I don't know why. Sometimes D2L I haven't figured out how to stop it, might rearrange the order of the answers. But don't worry. I mean, if you work a problem and you're certain the answer is 2.5, if it was A on the PDF file, but 2.5 is answer D on the actual online quiz, then you mark D, 2.5. So you pick the answer associated with the correct value, regardless if it happens to scramble them. But like I said, I do not do that on purpose. Sometimes it may, sometimes it won't. You basically have 60 minutes to enter 10 answers. Each quiz is 10 problems. To enter 10 problems that you've already worked. So basically, you're probably not going to need about 5 minutes to do this, but with 60 minutes, there's no excuse for not carefully going through there to make sure you're bubbling them correctly. It wasn't like I'm giving you 3 minutes or something where you have to hurry. So remember, you'll be working these in advance, and you won't open the quiz You'll open the quiz file, but you won't open the actual D2L quiz, only till you're ready to submit all of your answers. It's not like a MyMathLab or some sort of homework problem where, you go online, submit a few, come back, submit a few later. You can do that on paper, work a few, come back and work through later, but you submit all the answers at once. Very important. Exams, we've got 3 exams plus the final. Now, I've got a lot of crossed out stuff here. That means for somewhere in the future, I won't, if I took this off the syllabus now, that way I'd have to remember to put it back or what that. So I'll just cross through there, meaning that does not apply here under our COVID-19 semesters here, meaning that we had no campuses open to take these exams because you would have had the option of either going to a campus, or if you could not do that, I was going to allow you to use the ProctorU service, which is a fee. But I'm not going to make people pay for ProctorU that would have gone to a Lone Star campus. That would be completely unfair. But for people that did not want to go to the campus, they had the option. Or if you were taking this in the middle of nowhere, several people would use ProctorU, no problem. But so the exams are not proctored. So you can forget all this sheet of notes business and all that. I can't really stop you from using all your notes, but I can assign a time limit with it. You won't be given those questions in advance like you are for the quiz. You'll take those in real time. I'll put this in an announcement. The first 3 exams are 20 problems, and I think they're 210 minutes, 3.5 hours. The final's 25, and it's set for 4 hours. But I will make an announcement that you'll be able to refer to. Yeah, so here I'm mentioning this COVID-19 deal. Now the ODR, official day roll policy. One of these days I might create an assignment where you have to check not a math problem where you just click a question that you answer yes or no and move on. But I didn't get around to doing that now, so all you have to do, and I mentioned that in that welcome announcement, is once you've logged into D2L, and I can see that you've logged in at least once, that will verify that you've at least attended the one class, participated in that sense. And you won't get, because if somebody, the 13th, by the end of the day, Wednesday, if they have not logged in, I can submit them a request for them to be dropped from the course, and it would be really bad, especially if you hadn't logged in by the 3rd day. But if you're watching this video, you've essentially logged in. Withdrawal policy. After that official day roll is established, then I don't drop anybody for any reason. It would be your responsibility to drop the course if you wanted to by the deadline of 6/2. But no, the dropping thing only applies to they don't want people on the official day roll that aren't attending, for state reimbursement. They don't want to, feel like they're bilking money from the state. But then once you're beyond the official day roll, then you have to drop yourself. I don't drop anybody. Yeah, if you were in the official day roll and you didn't do any assignments or anything, you're just going to get an F for the course if you don't drop yourself. Here are a bunch of links to resources. We have this online tutoring thing. They're calling it Upswing that you can look into. I put a little web link for you there. And we don't have tutoring centers open, so you can see how that works. And something I think I forgot to mention, let me see. Back up here. Office out online meetings. I should have put a separate blurb in the syllabus. See online meetings below. Maybe it's coming up and I just don't remember where it is. Maybe I didn't put it in here. Maybe I meant to and said look ahead and I didn't put it in there. Oh, I think I did down there. Okay, it's coming up. All right. Sorry about that. Let's go back to this. Okay, that's the tutoring. Just advising who do you contact, because everything's probably going to have to be, email. That's probably, I think some people might be reporting back to faculty's not allowed on campus. And on June 1st, well, that's June 1st. We'll already be pretty far along the course. But everything pretty much, there may be somebody answering phones, but it may be working all on email now. I don't know. as far as contacting people. Here's just a bunch of dates and just all kinds of stuff. I know there's a separate advising, I believe, for online students. Don't know the exact, but you probably can search through D2L and figure it out. I think UP advising at lonestar.edu. That might be what I have right here. Let's see what I have right there. No, I don't, but that sounds like an email address. UPadvising at lonestar.edu. Okay. But that's probably given on that web link I gave you. Grading scale, that's important. How do we get a grade for this course? Oh, the quizzes, it's in the syllabus. I mentioned there's 10 quizzes, but the lowest 4 are automatically dropped. So, like, for example, if you miss one, don't do one, or whatever, you're okay in that sense. You get 4 drops. They can be the 4 lowest score, so the best 6 count. And that forms an average. So whatever your best 6, I'll just make up. Let's say your best 6, you had 3 100s and 3 90s. That's an easy average I can compute in my head. That means your average would be 95. That's the equivalent of a test grade. So you take exam 1, exam 2, and exam 3, and that quiz grade, and out of those 4, the lowest one is dropped. So a lot of times people will ask me, are you dropping an exam? Well, I don't like to answer it. I can't answer that properly, but I have to make sure we understand that the quizzes have to count. In other words, you can't drop an exam and not do the quizzes both. It is possible the quiz grade could be the lowest one. Now, when that happens, it's usually somebody that's really making hundreds on all the tests. They're making an A in the class anyway. But for most normal people, not that you're abnormal if you have 100 average, but anyway, my point being is, sorry about any misconception there, but the quiz grade is helpful is all I'm getting at. It's supposed to be helpful, and most people will use it as one of those grades. You don't have to choose. I do it automatically and drop the lowest one. But it's possible, if you made 300s and your quiz average was 95, then the 95 wouldn't count. So just keep that in mind when we say drop the low. If you have a bad exam, that's okay, but that's as long as you're keeping the quizzes going. That's the key. And then the final counts the same weight, so everything's basically 25%. And then what do we have here? We have now this is something we just have to kind of put in the syllabus. It's not something, now when I say calendar and I say D2L calendar, as I mentioned right here, that's the important calendar. That's where all your dates are, due dates, blah, blah, blah. This is just something they want us to provide, and I don't mind providing it, but it's not official in any way, shape, although it shows all the sections and stuff, but it's just they want us to put it in there to give the students like an unofficial kind of calendar for what kind of pace to keep up with. But, this is not critical. You don't have to do anything. Obviously you can study fast. You probably don't want to study too much slower than this, but you can work ahead if you want to. That's fine, but this is not etched in stone. Other than the content's correct, like all the blue stuff's for exam 1, the red stuff's for exam 2. And I'll show you in the purples for exam 3. I'll show you where else you can see that too. So a lot of times I'll say calendar and I might forget to say the word D2L. It's, that's what I mean if I say calendar usually. And I usually don't refer to this for anything other than I had to put it there. All right. Let's see what we got next here. All right. So, okay, I talked about the book earlier. So just kind of read this. The exams, you see I've crossed out some stuff. Usually, and I'll look at the scores and see how they go. But I'm doing this right now. I still haven't finished the spring semester yet. But, I'm not stupid. I expect the scores to be higher than normal with, open access to everything. So that this blurb I put in here, if they were proctored exams, all the exams are multiple choice, by the way. And I would adjust the scores a little bit. It's like a partial credit factor, but I'll look at the class averages and see what the scores look like. And if they're lower than what we normally have after I adjust the other ones in previous semester, then I'll look into that. But I would not expect much adjustment there because I'm expecting the scores to be decent. So that's what that's for, is when you had to take a proctored exam, which obviously is a more challenging situation. Now the exams are open. Now this means these are your dead. Now this was you can ignore all that stuff. This is the deadline dates, but they're open. The exams will be open. You don't have to take it on that day. Notice up to and including, they're all open now. But that's the last day to take it. 11 p.m. on each of those days. So keep that in mind. There's no reason why you can't work ahead. But that's, I realize that's hard to do in a 4-week class, but if I couldn't expect you to work ahead, but if you did, you could, because we're moving so fast. Okay, so I crossed out more stuff here. It talks about testing center. That doesn't apply to us. Nothing involving testing centered and proctored testing, which is what would have happened had it not been for the virus. So that doesn't apply. Proctored exams, I cross that out. Because like I said, all this stuff, I can remove the cross out somewhere in the future. Here, online meetings, I'll talk about this. I'll announce from time to time that I'm going to do some online Zoom meetings that are just completely not required on your part. Like maybe an hour here, hour there. I might do, sometime do it I won't do anything in the morning. I'm not much of a morning person, but it would be later in the afternoon or evening. I might mix it up from day to day just to give different people chances. It's just where I'll open it up. They're not lectures. My lectures are already recorded. They are strictly for you to ask me questions or, ask for guidance or assistance or whatever. You'll want to watch the lecture videos that I'll go back and show you here in D2L. I've got all the lectures recorded. But I'll post those, and then I'll post the link each day. We're going to have one. Just check and say, okay, let's say I'm going to have a Zoom meeting tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. If you want to pop in, you're welcome. If you don't, that is totally fine. You're not being judged or graded or evaluated by participation. It's only if you want to pop in for help or just to ask any kind of questions. So, all right, so just stay tuned for those. You'll see those come up in announcements. And that basically closes the syllabus part of the course here. So let's go back to, all right, maybe I didn't do that as fast as I was hoping to, but I always want to make sure I'm as thorough as possible. All right, let me go back to content and kind of run through this. Mainly show you just kind of where things are. I think the rest of it you'll find pretty easily. Lecture notes. Okay, well, lecture notes. I have some stuff from other courses and stuff. People, if you want to download them and keep them or something, help yourself. But I've got them. I have some old pre-cal notes I threw in there. But here, here's how you can tell. Well, on that syllabus calendar shows you each section, but this is very organized. It shows you by folder. So you see how that says Exam 1 Notes? That means everything in this folder is what's on Exam 1. That's how you know. That's how you know exactly what sections are going to be on an exam. All right there and organized. Here's an Exam 2, same thing. Exam 3. So all my notes are organized like that. So you'll have notes, and then you'll have these videos of me basically explaining the notes, just a verbal explanation of the notes. I still open up one of these notes to show you just to heck up, here we go. I think they're pretty decent. My writing's pretty decent. I think they look okay. Nothing worse than sloppy, hard to read stuff. Oh, sideways. But you can download that and rotate it around. If I think about it, I know how to fix these now. I might go fix some of these. But in the meantime, just download it and write. I don't know if you can rotate it from here. Maybe you can. I don't know, but you download it and rotate it. I know you can right-click, rotate. Anyway, but I might see if I can fix some of those as we're going. All right, back to that. So there you go. Well, it was pretty legible, but it was sideways, but you don't have to look at them sideways. All right. Now, so back to that. I'm going to show you where the videos are. They're all YouTube videos. So not some kind of weird format that you would have to have or anything like that. Lecture videos. And they are also organized by each exam. So they'll be there, and watch them as many or as few times as you want. And then we have exam reviews. Those are ungraded assignments. Just, you pretty much know what exam reviews are at this point in your academic career, I'm sure. These are the PDF files of the reviews, and then we have videos of me explaining the solution. So what we have in the PDF files is we have a blank copy that's probably good that you might want to try to work on, that to practice, because no way you learn math by just reading my solutions. But then I have like sample exam 1, and then I have the solutions. They're my worked out solutions. But you probably want to start with the original, because that's how you get good practice in, by seeing what you can do. Now there's way more problems that are on the review than there are on the test. As I mentioned, there's only 20 on the regular exams, 25 on the final. So I just always like to put more on there to give you the more practice, the better. But it's not a graded assignment. You do whatever you're comfortable with. So I have the blank file, the solutions, and then you come over here, and then I have the video explanation of my solutions. Some of these I have broken down into different problem sections. And so there we go. So we have exam reviews, we have lecture notes, lecture videos. That's all the kind of content you'll use to sort of study from. Now, certainly, and I mentioned the syllabus, you can look at topics on other sites. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if you found a video you liked better on Khan Academy or something, or not that you have to ever tell me, but but I provide this service for you, but you can, like I said, you can use anything you want. Quizzes. Let's come down and take a look at these. So here we go. Quizzes. There they are. I'll just open up the first one. It tells you what sections they... Oh, I forgot something very, very, very important here. Excuse me. Let me go back to course content, and then I'll come right back to the quizzes. In that syllabus file, I mentioned something I was going to tell you about textbook. Wow, I'm glad I didn't forget that. All right. Syllabus. At the bottom of this syllabus file is something very useful and important. This one called Other Resources. I labeled this specifically to not show what it was. It's what kind of the sections at my notes. I haven't evolved my notes sections yet to match the new book. But so the sections match. This is a textbook. It's an older edition of a Larson textbook. So you can use that. So you can use if you already have a calculus book, you can use it. You can use this. So that file will be there for you to use. That's that textbook. Okay, that's important. Can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, so there's how you can kind of get around the issue of not having to buy that textbook, especially in such a class, in such a short period of time. You don't need to be, I don't know how you would even get it anyway, other than ordering it, and God, that would take too long to wait for it to show up. But anyway, don't have to worry about that, because there's no bookstores open, I don't think, so. All right, so you can use that book, and my section numbers in my notes match that book. Those same sections are in that newer book, the official book. They're just different numbers, and I haven't really numbered them yet. I think they might be on my practice set. I also have this practice set. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm thinking of Cal too, but I might have adjusted them. But that doesn't matter. If you actually are using that book, I can help you. No, I haven't put the sections they correspond with in that official book yet. This book, these sections match that PDF book I was just showing you. All right. All right, so that was important. So now I got to show you basically is a quizzes, and then we're done. So here's what you do. Quizzes. There's 10 of them, 10 problems each quiz. That's good to know, so at least it's consistent. So it wouldn't be like you did one quiz was 10 and the next one was 30 or something like that. So you'll always know how many there are. So obviously you can download this PDF like I showed you down there. So what you do is you go through and you solve these to the best of your ability. Right here. You don't submit any paperwork to me or anything like that. No scanning, no nothing. Everything is electronic. But you work them here. Keep your papers with you. I'd obviously, if you're able to print them, that would be, if not, you don't have to. You can use paper and write them down. You don't have to print. But you'd want to hang on to them probably, even after you work them out. So there's how you get to the actual quiz problem. So you do all 10 of these. Then when you were completed, just, obviously you have deadlines to meet here, which I'll show you. I'll go back to the calendar, actually, be the last thing I'll show you. We'll go to quizzes. When you're ready, you will click on this quiz 1. I guess I'll do it real quick just to show you. Maybe don't need me to show you this, but all right, start quiz. So you wait and you gotta enter them all of them in there. I'm not gonna actually work all these. I'm just gonna, sometimes this thing moves so slow, I hate to. Actually, I may pause the video here in a second after I show you. Yeah, so you see it's about to pop. So here they go. So yeah, here's what I was talking about where the answers might scramble. Well, you don't know that by looking. They might scramble. And just pay attention, but you still have to pick the right answer. So I'm going to just pick these. I'm not trying to necessarily, you're going to be doing them based on your answers. I'm just picking some of these. I'm not worried about whether I get them right or not. So you can laugh at me if I get a failing grade. But keep in mind, I wasn't really solving these. Well, I did number 1, actually. But anyway. Let's see. Just kind of showing you the process here. See, bubbling along, got them. And then I'm waiting for it to save all of them. 9 out of 10. Something's kind of slow, unless I didn't click one properly. Let's see. 9 of 10 saved. I went through, there we go. One of them I didn't get in there, so you want to make sure it says 10 of 10 saved. There it is. 10 of 10 saved. You submit your quiz, and it'll dump the score right in the grade book. Submit quiz. Gives me another chance to go back to the questions if I wanted to. And I'm not expecting a very good score here, obviously, but you're expecting your score. Okay, 5 over the right, 5 out of 10, 50. Hooray. Now, one thing I'll keep in mind, I'll tell you now, I'm sure people will ask me this. That's but there's that file that says how you review quizzes and submissions, so it would be good if you carefully pay attention to what I say here. That would be helpful as far as saving yourself some time. Now, the quizzes, no matter when you submit it, they're not available to be viewed until 1 hour after the deadline. Like, I'll go to the calendar and show you what I mean. So they're all 11 p.m. So in other words, if you submitted it 2 days before it's due, you'll see your grade, but you can't look at the quiz until 1 hour after the deadline. But let me show you. This is where it can get a little confusing. And that file I have in the syllabus folder says, reviewing quiz submissions. Because it could be a little tricky. How do you view this? All right, so, you think you might go back over here and just click on that quiz thing again. Seems logical, but that would not be correct. Once you've clicked on that, you've done the quiz, it's not going to let you do anything when you clicked on this. What you will do is you will go back next to the quiz, drop down arrow, and you'll click on submissions. I'm not going to worry about doing that now. Submissions. And then probably say view attempt or something or another, or probably say click. It'll tell you to click attempt or whatever, but it'll be easy once you do this. Yeah, so you'll click on your attempt. Then that's how you can see which ones you got right and which ones you missed. So, all right, last thing here. So there's how you did it. And of course, so keep in mind when you take the exams. Oh, I will make an announcement. The exams have passwords. That's just so you don't open. I did that so you don't open them by accident. But I'm going to send you, usually they're password protected and the proctor puts them in there. But this time that's not the case. Since we're not taking proctored exams, that's what this little key thing means right here, the password protected. I'll list the passwords, but they're easy. They're exam 1, no space, exam 2, no space, exam 3, no space, final exam, no space. All lowercase. But I will put that in an announcement where you can go back. So that one, I didn't want somebody to accidentally open it by mistake, because that way you can't really, if you click on it, it wouldn't be a mistake because you've got to type in a password. All right, so this is your quiz list. Here's everything in here. You see all these dates when they're due. There's everything. Notice these due dates. Now, this class moves quick. Starts on the 11th. You got a quiz due the 15th. But look, you got 2 of them due 16th and 17th. So it probably a good idea. No, definitely a good idea. I shouldn't say probably is, obviously start hammering these out now, because you don't necessarily want to feel like you have to learn all the, you could, I guess, but you don't want to do everything just for quiz 1 by the 15th. You need to cover more material than that. You need to be moving along, because the exam's going to be on the deadline will be the 19th. But I wanted to give you a little extra time to get the first one done, and hopefully you'll be ahead of that pace, and you can submit the other ones quicker that way too. So you want to stay ahead of the game a little bit. I did that for all the exams. I made the quizzes due a couple of days before. In other words, the last quiz of that unit will be due 2 days before the exam deadline. So 1, 2, and 3 quiz belong to exam 1. 4 and 5 belong to exam 2. So they're due the 24th and 25th, with the exam being on the 27th. The next one has 4 quizzes. So the 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, with the exam being on the 4th. And then you have another quiz, which is kind of a review. It won't be new topics. So I kind of wedged it between the exam 3 and the final, due on the 6th. And then the final shouldn't be 5. I need to change that time to 11 p.m. I'll go fix that. But, all right. So, all right, let me just double check here. I think we're good. We covered how to get the quizzes in there, and I didn't really go to the grades tab. That's just where you'll look at your grades. There's nothing you have to do there. But, all right, well, hopefully this, like I said, this will answer most of your questions, help you kind of proceed through the course. But I just want to show you one quick thing here. All right, and like I said, under the here's what I was talking about, how to enter the quizzes, and then the reviewing the quiz and exam submission. So, all right, hopefully we'll have a fun 4 weeks here. Let's see how I did time-wise. Let's see how we did. Looks like, we just broke the 40-minute barrier. That's what I was hoping for.